So this launches the digital profile, this is new material. It also launched the digital profile, if I may, for this person, this case, this date and time. Well, not this date and time, but this person in this case. And within that are all of the court events. Let me scroll through here. This is the one in particular that we were on. There's a date, a court event scheduled ahead of that, 1 day ahead of that, or 1 day in the future. It's right there. What you can see is all that information I showed you here is also here. Now, within what we call this is the digital profile for this person, Joe Teester. This person is involved in all of these cases. If I need to go to an individual case, I click the down arrow and I'm on it and on that record and every court event within that record. So let me go back to the 67891, which has multiple court events. You can see the top is 2.5 at 8:30. And if I click and I open that, it allows me to get into the data entry grid. I'm going to close out of this first and just go back through this. And you can see the fields that if they're filled out, the information that you can take from that. For example, who the deputy DA is, who the judge is, whether it was AFAB or not, department, appearance in custody, no bail, whether there was an interpreter, who the counsel is, were they arraigned on a particular date, was time waived, and so on and so forth. You can also, within this, see the case documents. And remember that one that I just uploaded is right here. Bada bing. Everything follows you around. Isn't that beautiful? You can also get into the case notes. And what you see up here is this high priority alert. And if I hover over it, it says test alert note to see if title works. It does. And so this is the alert note. Now if I click on that, I can see the notes. I could add to this note if I wanted to. It does, doesn't it? I can save that. We can export that to an Excel grid. We can save that as well. And I'm going to go ahead and close this window. And it hasn't changed, but I'm going to go refresh. And I will see in the case notes, it does, doesn't it? So that's a pretty cool feature. So if you wanted to do an alert note, you need to pick the alert value, which is the top value here. And that will allow you to do an alert note, which if I open up this record, you'll see that that is an alert note. We only want to do one alert note per case and just add to it. You're allowed 1,500 characters in these notes, so we have plenty of space to do that. So let me close that. So within this digital profile is this digital docket, and there are the events for it. If I want to update an event, I need to click on the hyperlink, go into the data entry form, and I'm going to move this a little bit so you can see everything. And so let's say Jeff didn't appear in this, Jennifer did. Let's say Baronio wasn't there, it was Basha. Let's say it was Department 5. Let's say the appearance happened in custody, no bail. Let's say the counsel was a public defender, and let's say it was Tracy Olson. Don't know if I spell it with an O or E. And let's say the Spanish interpreter was appointed. And this is all tab and type, so if people kind of follow the cursor, if I need to tab to something and type it, Arraignment, you can use your drop down. They were arraigned on the complaint. If you needed to put in some values, you could do that. The plea was not guilty. And if you needed to put in a value here, and we'll spell better. And time, let's say there you waived, add 10-day, and put a value. Rulings, let's say OR and 1275. Conditions, well, let's say no contact with victim. And let's say searchable for weapons. If I could type, we'd be in great shape. Close the window, no contact with victim, searchable for weapons. This shows up. Let's tab to the next field. Holds, ICE, test, CPO, let's say no harassing contact with victim. Victim advocate, let's say Estella was there. And the victim was present, and this is a test note, and it's going well so far. And maybe we don't want to put any outcomes just yet, but let me show you them if you wanted to put them. It's the same thing. You would pick a value and you would type something and move out of it. And you'll see it show up here. Sentencing, same thing. And if we need to have some file workup done, let's say file motion by 10 a.m. And let's say investigations needs to interview all victims. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to open a request which uses an Outlook template and allows you to send an email. And we'll put a date in here. And I'm not going to send this to Kyle, I'll send it to myself. And I have the ability to put in options for priority, sensitivity. These are all standard Outlook things. If you don't know how to do that, we'll get you some training. I can put in a follow-up flag that says, let's do it by today or tomorrow at, well, I guess we'll be nice and say 9:30 a.m. instead of 6 a.m. Click OK and send it. And if I need to update the court event, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Remember, I put in some values, so the court event is updated. Let me drop this down for a second and come over here and refresh this. And you can see that the things that I put in are all there. Amazing, isn't it? Now, if I needed to do a next court date, I'll click the next court date button. I'll pick an event. And let's go to pre-hearing conference, date and time, 02/15/2011. Let's make it 1:30. Type a P to change it to PM. Let's put it in Department 9. Let Let's make the attorney Jeff Reisig. Let's pick the AFAP judge and throw in Baronio just for sake of filling out a field and type in a note. If I needed to do another one, bang, it's that easy. Close it, close this window, click refresh. There's the date, 2/16/215. Bada bing, bada boom. Isn't that something? So I think I've given you enough information. Now we can start playing with it a little bit. But this is pretty amazing stuff that we have here. I think you'll enjoy it once you get used to using it. Thank you much.